Alright everybody, here Real Pyro Blue here again to give you the next part of my Enter Sandman lesson, and this time we are doing the main riff and the verses. So let's just go into it. The main riff of the song, which is the most popular part of the song, sounds like this. Alright, so that starts off on just a regular old E power chord. So I think you do that twice, so slide up to the 7th fret of the A, 6th fret of the E, then 5th fret of the E, so then you do that, just that whole thing twice. And I just want to mention, after you do it the first time, do a palm mute of the first of those two E's. So altogether it's... See how you do, when you do the palm mute, it really gives it that nice metal chunk. And then it ends on this. So, except for that initial chord, everything else is palm muted. And that starts off on a G, and all the rest of this is palm muted, and that is F sharp, then up to the G, back to the F sharp, and end on an E power chord. So, forgot to mention, between the F sharps and the G's, do just an open E mute. So, sorry about that, one more time. So all together, that initial riff is... So as you see, you do the E to the 7 thing 3 times, then you do that final part. Alright, and after you do that, that leads you into the actual verses, which just sounds like this. Alright, so all you're doing there, you're starting off just an E power chord and just keep muting that. And then on the 8th chord, the 8th or the final 8th note of every measure, throw in an F. And then after you do the F 2 times, go into that same exact riff that you did at the end of the main riff, so, but then you don't palm mute the final. So all together. Alright, now let's get into the pre-chorus, which sounds like this. Alright, so that starts out on the 2nd fret of the E, then a palm muted 4th fret of the D, then to a 2nd fret of the G, excuse me, and then to a 3rd fret of the A, to a 2nd fret of the A, and then land on the 4th fret of the D. And you do that whole thing 4 times. That was 5, but too bad. And then after the 4th time, do a little slide to bring you into the chorus, which sounds like this. So that starts on an F sharp power chord, then to a C power chord, to a B power chord. You do that thing 3 times. Land on an open E power chord. And then the lead guitar does this little riff. And the way you do that is you start on the 5th fret of the D, palm muted, 2nd fret of the D, palm muted. So, then to a 2nd fret of the G, palm muted, to back down to the 2nd fret of the D, palm muted. Then the 4th fret of the G to an open G. Then you do one more of these, landing on the E, and then one more little riff, and that's 4 on the D to 2 on the D, 5 on the D to 2 on the D, and then 2 on the G, back down to 2 on the D. And then you end with that riff from the initial riff. And that is all the choruses of Enter Sandman. One other thing I forgot to mention, in the verses, after you do the chorus once, Kirk Hammett does some little fills during the verses. The first one sounds like this. And what he does there is he's barring the 12th fret of the B and the 12th fret of the G. Gives that a little pull. Lands on the 14 of the D. And then from both of those 12s on the same strings to 14s on those 2 same strings. Then pull off from those 2 strings to land on the 14 of the D. Back to those 12s, and then get to those 14s again, and then just pull both of them. And then just do a hit them and slide down. And the second riff he does is he just does a couple of those 12s, the same 2 12s from the B and the G. He just pulls them 3 times, lands on the 14 of the D. So both of those riffs. And the other one.